And happy Memorial Day there, folks. Members of this day, I'm remembering when this bar probably wasn't so Frankenstein and not so cruddy. But anyway, typically I know most people expect me to put up a video, finish something up or show something fancy. Not so much this time. This is me just getting some free time and doing a little bit of playing. What I'm looking at here is a Model 12. However, if you can tell, and I had another video on this, these are definitely not Federal flashers. I'm going to keep those though. I actually kind of like them. But as you can see, this bar is pretty grody. See if I can actually get you how delicious that is. I mean, come on, look at that. Let's move this out of the way. Take a look at that. If you can get that. Yummy. Again, yummies. But I got to get the speaker tray out. I'm going to get to cleaning on this. See what I can do. Luckily for me, all the bulbs in here, the 4464, seem to work, but this bar is seriously nasty. So I'm going to clean it up, make it look good. Maybe throw some refresh domes on it. Bring it back from the dead. This is probably going to be a part one here while I'm playing around with this. But on that note, let me get back to work. And like I said, I hope everybody's Memorial Day is doing well. Do some grilling for me. And I'll be back with additionals. All right, part two of my Memorial Day cleanup project. As we can see here, I have the bar fully stripped down to its base components. I'll talk more about these, but they're all clean now. It was kind of nasty, but I degreased the bar. A lot better condition than it was. I was making a whole lot of racket. Speaker tray, metal speaker tray, nothing out of the ordinary, just degreased. That's about it. So nice and clean. Another part tray here, clean. The only thing I can really say, honestly, back to these guys, is these holders, or whatever you want to call them, the bulb lamp holders. Believe these are from a Sereno Condor. The reason why I say that is that these look very similar to Sereno, I guess, lamp holders. The interesting thing was the original owner of this bar retrofitted these Sereno Condors in the centerpieces to act like flashers. And then they were mounted, as you can see, he drilled a hole in the center of that one. And that's the speaker tray. Where's the other one? Center of this one over here. The interesting thing is that he ran it through using a lag bolt. This thing ran through here, which in turn, I can't really do this one hand, this piece, like so, like right there, lag bolt through it. This was the ground. So this is actually grounded to the bar. So this is your ground, and then a wire was run up into each bulb and then put in series to a flasher, which is part of the bad. So let's deal with the good first. But just talking about what I've got here, moving across these rotators. Rotators are fine. They need to be worked on. I've cleaned them, but there's, you know, I could probably go with a wire brush on them, give them a better cleaning. Other than that, they seem to be working all right. And then these guys, which I haven't really done much to, other than just, if you want to call them, taking them apart. These need to be cleaned. I haven't done anything really with these. These are my next. It's not really the good. It's kind of in between. Let's talk about the bad. So the bad is this thing. This is going to be, I really don't like taking these things apart, and I'm going to have to. This is a bad one. It's not as bad as some of the other ones. It looks like structurally, like the gears are together. There's no cogs taken out or anything like that. So I can't, I mean, no teeth missing. So it just needs to be cleaned up, and it'll take me some time to do so. The other is the motor. Bear with me a moment as I one-hand this. The motor itself is here. I haven't tested this yet. So I'm not 100% certain really as to if this works, if it doesn't work. If it works, I'll get it to work and we'll take it from there. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to either send out for repair or find a replacement, which again is not a big deal. The worst part are these guys, which is basically the domes. If you look at these domes, they're supposed to be amber, but they're heavily faded. The nice thing is all the bulbs test out. So all the bulbs, most of them are 4464s, so that's a lot of 4464s. They do test out and they do work. So the bulbs are a nice thing. The flasher itself on here, some generic flasher. It's a 537 Genero. I don't know if that works or not. If it does, I'll reuse it. Other than that, it does need to be rewired. But that's it. That's my update right now. The good is the bar's apart. It's cleaned. It's complete. The bad is just the cleaning of the gearbox, the motor, testing the motor, like I said before, and going from there. But there's my update on day one. As I'm going to wrap this up for today, I'll continue moving on with this come tomorrow. And here we go with my part 3. Unfortunately this time much later than Memorial Day, but I'm doing some test fitting of the actual parts itself. As you can see, nothing's bolted in. I haven't run any wiring, but I have cleaned everything up. All I'm doing is test fitting right now just to make sure everything fits. Once I know that everything is in right place and everything's working, then I'm going to start bolting things back down. So I've got to put the chains back in, basically put the chain back in on this side, and then start wiring everything back up. All in all, again, the light itself is actually in pretty good shape as I take a little bit of a tour around here. As you can see, it's cleaned up now. So it's not a dirt nut anymore. And overall, is it perfect? No. Is it good enough? Very much so. And I have decided I'm going to keep these in with this bar as I redo it. So there's my part 3. I'm going to go ahead and start reassembling and rewiring as I need fit, and I'll update this video as we go along. And stay tuned. Hopefully I can get this done sooner rather than later. Alright, continuing with the updates here. I don't know if you want to call this a part 4. What is it? I've actually got everything installed, as I was talking about in the last video of test fitting. Everything's installed. Everything's bolted down. I've got the lamps in. I've kind of kept, made a little bit of changes. The center, these flashers are 7400 bulbs. There were GE 4464s in the rotators, and then the flashers actually had 4416s. Yeah, I have to fix a couple of the 4416s in regards to some soldering. These are what I had on hand, so it went for it. Enough said. But counted a couple problems. It is assembled. It is together. I have run a wiring lead coming into it now, so I've actually wired the bar up. We're good to go. Motor cleaned up. I need to put some grease in that gearbox. Reinstall the center speaker tray. For those of you that are working on these lights, remember, don't crank these back down as they're used. Even if you're using new bolts, don't crank. When you put them back in, treat them like your girlfriend. How's that? Treat them very gently. They are old, and you will snap them off, as I've done over here. But I'm not really worried about that at this stage. So moving on, coming over to the, I guess this would be the passenger side of the vehicle, you'll notice that I replaced the 537 can flasher with an FA3 flasher. The can flasher does work, but the flash was so erratic that it kind of killed the point of having center flashers or keeping these guys in the center. So with that done, we're good to go. These really actually works quite well. I'm impressed. This design, or however he did it, he didn't do too bad. The one thing that I did do is, if you come in and take a look, you can see that I had to jump because the power comes in on the bottom. Give me a second here. On this, at least on this side, this blue cable comes up, provides power to this, and then I have a jumper coming from that bulb to this bulb, and then this grounds via this top piece, and then that grounds into the bar. Same thing on this side. If you'll notice that I have the power comes up, yellow is the master power feeding everything, but this white wire with a black stripe comes up into this bulb, providing 12 volt positive. And then I have a jumper cable, which is kind of hard to see, but it's this guy here. It's this black cable. Comes up into here and then grounds back into, these both ground in back here. So that's how I believe how the Serenos worked. I do like that. Again, like I said before, I'm kind of impressed that this works. So with that said and done, the mechanicals are cleaned up and out of the way. We do need to do some greasing. I have greased underneath. I just have not greased the gearbox yet. As you see, as you come down in here, there's no grease on that at all. Very clean. I will come in here and put a little bit on there. I'm not going to go nutso like peanut butter and jelly like I see frequently. But let's go ahead and get this powered up. And you can see how this works. So bear with me a moment so I don't trip over and kill myself. And we're live. So there it is. I do have the flasher synced. You can hear that 537 chugging away. See if I can get back a little bit. I do have a chair behind me. Sit down and give you guys just a little bit of an update. There we go. So you get the pops from the rotators. The flash pattern is very even, or at least on the flashers, thanks to that 537, or not the 537, the FA3, I apologize. 537s are thermal flasher, great flasher, but very uneven. And I think that's it. I mean, my next stop here is to determine which domes I want to use, and proceed to, I guess, reassemble the final pieces. Other than that, I think this is where I'm going to stop for my part 4 and determine what I want to do for said part 5. So for what went by very quickly for you guys, the viewers, this has been almost a week and a half in work. So let me stop here and move on to the next part once I figure out what I'm going to do next. Stay tuned. Alright, the 5th and final part of my Memorial Day, now post-Memorial Day, Twinsonic rebuild, the Twinsonic Model 12F for Franken. Anyway, I actually lucked out and found a blue dome. I'm not quite sure where I got that from. I'm surprised sometimes even myself when I go digging through my stuff and find things that I didn't think I had. So in this instance right now, this bar does have a red-blue, the PB&J of light bar domes. Will it stay like this? Probably not. I have another color schema in mind for this that I wanted to go with first, but it was a lot quicker for me to throw red-blue, and red-blue's a lot more popular. So let's stick with that. So on that note, let's go ahead and power this up, wrap up my little culmination of videos. There we go, nice even flash pattern there with the FA3 clicking. She's turning and burning. Rollers, whatever you want to use. Again, I'm going to say that I do kind of like the Sereno Condor flashers in the center there. Very much set up like a 12EF, just without Federal lamp holders or the aerodynamic power lamp holders there. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it does have, if you see, use my finger, it does have an antenna sitting on top. And I'll do the 360 here. We're going to be in the sun a little bit, so you'll have to bear with me as I maneuver this around. But domes came out pretty good, used domes, but came out very good. Again, 4464s in the outer rotators, 7400s in the rear flashers, or in the front and rear flashers, as that's what I had on hand. I think there were 4416s initially, whoever built this bar originally. It was a mixture of 6.4s and 1.6s, and I think the 1.6s were on the inside. So, kind of the same thing. Whatever's left over. The tags do read Twinsonic Model 12, and I'll wrap up the back shot here. As we wrap this up, give you a nice look from the rear. Not too bad. I like it. All right, on that note, my multi-part started as a Memorial Day project is now post-Memorial Day, but it's a nice June project. And on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. So we'll go ahead and park this up front and wrap this up. Hopefully your weekend is going great, as mine is on this lovely June day. And hope everybody's day is doing well.